Hey everybody, welcome back to Gun Tote Minnesota, and today I'm going to be talking about a package and a number of products sent out to the channel by Armstrong Enterprises LLC. What's inside this box actually impressed me. Normally I don't do an unboxing video because I just don't find it necessary. I usually just get to the product, but there's more than one product inside. So I want to start off by opening up what was inside this package. So there's a description of the reticle with the mil subtensions. I'm really glad that this second focal plane optic has the mil subtensions listed here. Some important information if you're not sure how to use optics that are more geared towards the precision side, or rings, or torque settings, all that. He's got all the necessary information inside here. That comes with every scope, as I understand it. I'm going to put this aside for a second. This is an extended rail for the Ruger 1022, which I have to do in a different video. So in this one, I'm just unboxing it, talking about a couple other things. That's cool, and we'll look at that on something else a little bit later. You are going to have some rings inside. These rings right here happen to be Allen on top, and they're a good affordable pair of, looks like about medium-ish height rings, which is good because you really don't want to go lower than that most of the time. You can run into objective bell issues if you go lower than that, so I think medium is the right size. There's something kind of cool here. It's like a mil card, so it's got some information that a 1/10 mil equals 0.3 MOA and just some conversions back and forth. And then also you have a little bit of data for different kinds of 22. So you have 22 LR data for 36 grain, and then some distances, drop data value, that sort of thing. 22 meg, that's pretty cool, and then 17 HMR. So this is just a useful card to have with you, and if you're especially brand new to these types of optics, this might help you with configuring your optic and thinking about velocities as well as drop. Very nice touch. In addition to that, there is a throw lever as well as a takedown piece here. This is going to help you with actually undoing your turrets or resetting the zero on the turrets, and then the throw lever, which I will be installing. Moving on down, there is a nice lens cloth that's thrown in. There's a sunshade, which I'll definitely be attaching to this just to see how it functions. Looks like a good length sunshade. Lastly, of course, you have the actual optic. The optic is a 4:16 second focal plane. It is a mil configuration with side parallax and lift to operate turrets, which again are mil configured, which I'm very happy about. I don't really do MOA optics anymore, and so this is mil, so each click is a 1/10 of 1 mil. Tactileness, just right off the bat, it seems just a touch above average for the price point, actually. A little bit cleaner than you're usually going to get at this price point, so that's nice. It's nice to see something that's a little above average. And it has some flip cap covers here, which are, again, these are a little bit better. They're a little bit more stout than some of the really cheap ones that I've seen out there, so that's nice. These look like they're robust enough, actually. Okay, well, I'm going to just leave it at that right now. It does say Armstrong Enterprises on it. We'll leave it at that right now because that's the unboxing. Now let's actually look at mounting this to a rifle. All right, looking at mounting, I've got the rings that were provided, and I'm just finishing up one last turn here. Using a torque wrench is always recommended. I don't own a torque wrench right now, but I know what is over tight and I know what's under tight, so I'm going to do it that way, but having a torque wrench is a great idea. Now I'll take off the top Allens here and drop the scope in. One thing, I'm putting this on a 1022 variant, and this has a fixed rail. I'm going to have to do a video on the extended rail that is offered by this company because it's a really good idea. Typically 1022s have poor eye relief. It's just kind of a curse of the design. I wish that they would have changed that earlier on, but he has a fix for that I think is totally sufficient and is going to help with the eye relief issues that most people suffer from on the models that are adjustable. Just about every 1022 model is adjustable. This one happens to be fixed, which is kind of odd or uncommon. Make sure you're on a level surface when you do this with a level rifle, and you have a scope level to make sure everything is going in the right way and you're not going to be off or canted significantly. One thing that's nice about my particular setup here is I have a buffer tube. I don't have a traditional stock, I have a buffer tube and a long extended Fab Defense stock. So it gives me just better eye relief in general. One thing I'm liking about what I'm seeing here is the scope body does allow for a decent amount of room of travel here. It's not limiting me to just like an inch here and an inch here. Some of those silly smaller scopes, I just don't prefer them because they don't give you a lot of room to move. And this one gives me plenty of room to go back and forth and make it comfortable for the way I need it set up. And the next thing I'm going to do here, I'll do it off camera, but I'm going to open up my flip caps and look at about 50 yards, correct my parallax. I'm going to level this out and just make sure that the eye relief is right where I want it. I'm pretty sure it is because it's usually right about here with the objective lens. But I'm going to double check that off camera here. I'm going to add in the scope throw lever or the magnification throw lever, the top rings, and I'll come back and chat with you for a second. All right, there it is. At 15 yards, I've got a nice close parallax on this dial so I can actually focus it very, very close. And check out that eye relief. I'm good. I'm really, really good right where I'm at. I'm a tall guy and I was able to make this work with this particular scope, but if I wasn't, all I would need to do is, especially on a standard 1022, is add the extended rail that is offered for Ruger 1022s and some of the variants receivers. That looks good. Eye relief is good. It's level, it's balanced. Now all that's left is to take it to the range and actually test it and see what the glass clarity is like. Oh, I did forget one more thing. Nope, hold on. We're not done. That is not all that's left. Actually, something that I do care about is fluidity. So we'll get to turrets, we'll get to reticle, we'll get to glass clarity and all that in a second. I do want to know how the magnification ring operates. I could already tell it didn't have any slop in it. It actually looks pretty good. It's firm enough. And it moves pretty smoothly. There's not a huge range from 4 to 16 that actually, it doesn't move a whole lot. That's a pretty small amount. 4 to 16, I thought there would be more throw there, but it's pretty quick and it's fluid, it's smooth. And even without this lever on here, this ring seems to be smooth on its own. The grip and the texture on here is sufficient. Yeah. All right, now we can take it to the range and talk about some of the other features, how they operate, how they feel, and get those turrets reset once it's zeroed.